The Wellness Show, episode number 336.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyhson Banighen, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. All right, we're live on Facebook. This is Tyhson Banighen, and this is The Wellness Show. Welcome to The Wellness Show on health, wealth, and enlightenment, and we are coming together during these extraordinary times of personal and planetary transformation to help you get through these times with ease and grace, to stay out of fear and know that there are big things afoot on planet Earth. And so we're joined by my lovely co-host, Laura Cool.
Good morning.
I'm going to answer, not just answer, I was going to say, going to field all your questions, but I said she's going to answer all the questions, but maybe that's what she's going to do as well. So, and to let you know, we have part 3 of the basic dowsing and energy healing course coming up on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. It really needs to be retitled as the Deep Clearing Protocol, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. And I guess it would be the Deep Clearing Protocol and Clearing the Planetary Timelines of Control would really be the correct title. So first, we help you learn how to clear yourself, and then we help you then become one of what we might call the eco-spiritual warriors. We want to use those terms to help clean up the planetary timelines of control. So first we clear you, and then we help clear the planet and each other. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing on Friday. Looking forward to that. So that will be a series of 6 hours with yours truly.
Sorry.
Wow, there's a disembodied voice. Oh no, we better do a clearing. There's entities in the room.
I'm sharing it with the world.
You're sharing it with the world. Okay. And just to let you know, I'm going to just go over here and figure this all out. This is all new. Is that I'm co-hosting a show tonight. So come and join me. See if I can figure out all the details here. So I'm doing a show with Shelly Darling. It's called Radical Earth Resonance, and it's at 5 p.m. Pacific. And it has to do with, it's not a course, but it's a space for you to come and share and learn about loving each other and our Mother Earth. And it's open to people who may be ready for this alchemy of hearts. How do we open up our hearts at these times of radical change and transformation? It's every Tuesday night. I'm going to just cut and paste this into the chat so people can see what I'm talking about. And let's see here if we can find.
Are you doing that on Facebook or on
just
Zoom?
about to figure all that out. Again, you can join anytime from 12 to 5, blah, blah, receive updates. We'll give this. We'll do this, and then that'll be the first thing, and then we'll tell you how you can join the show. Okay, so to join the show, Tuesday,
Cool.
to
I'm just
getting used to all this. All right, so here's about at noon to 5 p.m. So here it is. Here's all the stuff here. Whoops.
Boy, you and I are both trying to figure stuff out this morning.
Yeah, go figure, eh? Oh, it wants to copy everything. I don't want to copy it. Well, maybe I do want to copy everything. Okay, we'll just copy everything, and we'll just put it in there. And you can, if you can download this to your show notes, that would be great too. Okay, there you are. It should give you all the links to how to join and what we're doing and who's who and first and second and third. Okay, so Radical Earth Resonance Show. So I'm really excited about that. Shelley and I have been working. I'm a field advisor in her Sacred Evolutionary Dowsing Consortium. And we've been meeting for 4 or 5 years now, working on changing the transformation of consciousness on planet Earth. We worked in Washington. We did some work in Washington, D.C. I've done some work in Jerusalem, Stargate. We've done some work in Bethlehem in the United States. We've done some work on different properties. So one in the Chicago area of poverty. And so we go collectively and we work on properties at a distance and also change the energetics of place and clear trauma and elementals and help bring it back online, so to speak. make it harmonious for people and for Mother Earth. And so this is our show to help you understand more about how to listen to the heartbeat of Mother Earth, how to come in a tune with her, and how to work from that resonant field of your heart. So it's a phone-in show, and we're just there for you. There's no real teaching other than answering your questions and helping you connect to Mother Earth. So I'm looking forward to
Nice.
that.
That sounds like a nice show.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. So how did you hurt your hand there, Laura? What were you doing?
Oh, putting something in the oven. Yep.
Oh, right. It looked like I was worried that you maybe were smacking me or something.
I'm not hitting anyone just yet.
Okay, good. Yeah. Oh, that looks like
All
a real
is well.
yeah. So did you spin the energy out? Did I ever teach you that?
Oh, of the
Yeah. So whenever you have an owie, particularly if you smacked it, but should work with a burn too, is because the energy is still going from the trauma in. You then wind it out. So like do this over your hand and pull the energy out, because the cells are still under duress as they go. The shock is sort of like is going in.
Yeah.
Want to pull the shock out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So if
I've done that with other people, but I never thought to do it with the burn.
well, yeah, I
Quite a
think
few
it
days
will
it will-
work. Try it. It should. If nothing else, the air passing over it will cool it down. So.
You're so funny. Sometimes it takes me a minute to catch up with you.
Advanced healing techniques.
Oh my goodness. So Eduardo has a question this morning.
All right.
He said during this unprecedented times,
What's
how
the
may
matter with
we
this
be
president?
unprecedented
Right.
times?
You're
Did I say correct?
unprecedented. It means you have no president. Yes. Okay. I agree.
We don't. Halloween, or not Halloween. He's
Halloween.
I know he put Halloween, but he said he meant how may we best be able to deal with the fear and anxiety we see in the media? For example, in Los Angeles, there's constant fear spread about getting tested for the coronavirus. It's like Big Brother forcing their actions upon the population. And Los Angeles is bracing for a big wave of 6 people. I don't understand that. They've
There's a big wave that's coming from people.
Sick people, I think is what he meant to say. They've converted stadiums into 2 hospitals. Well, it's good to be prepared. The fear is taking over the city. Many family members have texted me in fear. Oh, I gotcha.
Okay.
I'm talking to a couple of people in California, one in Northern California and one in Southern California, and neither one of those women are in fear. So I wonder if it's Los Angeles is. I mean, they're really. It's kind of like New York too. They're kind of compact. There's a lot of people in a small area.
Well, there's much to say about this, and and there's many ways we can go down the rabbit hole, like who's doing what to whom and why. But it really reminds me of doing the deep clearing. When I first started doing the deep clearing, I wanted to know who was doing what to whom. So was that an alien? Was he from the 5th dimension, 6th dimension? Did he have, did he look like a bumblebee? Did he have, or he was the second cousin to Satan? Who was he? Where did he come from? What was he doing? And who did he think he was? These are all these sort of questions that I was asking and doing the deep clearing. Then I realized it really doesn't matter who they are or where they're from. I just don't want them in my energy field, and I don't want them in anybody else's energy field. So send them all to the light. So at this time, I really realized that I was going down the rabbit hole, like who is doing what to whom, the conspiracy theory. And if you start Googling this stuff, you are going to spend your whole day down the rabbit hole. And you'll get so confused about what's right, what's wrong, what's up, what's down, who's doing what to whom, where they're, it's all a big conspiracy theory. And I think a lot of it is, but do I know what the true truth is? No. What do I really know? I know that if I stay out of fear and stay in my heart that I'm going to be at the right place at the right time wherever I am on the planet, no matter what's happening. It could be an earthquake, it could be a volcano, it could be a nuclear disaster, it could be the Holocaust, it could be dissension, it could be Armageddon, it could be anything. But I know in my heart of my hearts that the sole agreement that I have with Creator is if I'm in my heart and one with Source, I'll always be in the right place at the right time. Anything else is my mind worrying about the future, which it doesn't have any clue about what will happen, or worrying about the past that I didn't do something right. None of those keep me in the now moment. So this is the biggest test for me, and thank you, Creator, for creating this, where I have to stay in my heart. That's the only thing that I can do. Now, do I listen to the news? Yeah, I drive people crazy here because they're busy around dinner time, you know, and I'm listening to the news. So I decided, well, no, that's not fair to them because they want to talk at the, you know, as we gather around dinner. So I'm going to listen to the news at noon when everybody is sort of isn't around. But I'm only going to listen to it once. I only take one dose of COVID-19 fear once a day and process that. That's enough, because otherwise it's overwhelming. I know so many families have got that CNN in the United States on 24/7, 365. And if I did that, I would be so paranoid. I'd be so exhausted and so over the top and so worried. So don't do that. You got to write, you know, there's that on off button, you know, on off, just like clearing your energy field. You don't want like what's showing up in your energy field, turn it off, right? Or transmute it, or go to a channel, or watch cartoons, or
Laugh.
you know, laugh, sing, dance, anything. But stop listening to that stuff, right? I guarantee you, if you can stay in your heart, you will always be in the right place at the right time. I don't care how crazy it gets out. I don't care if you're in a war zone. This is the promise that you have, you know. This is the contract. This is it says in the Bible, it talks about the covenant with God. This is your covenant with God. You know, if you're doing the work of staying in your heart, the most benevolent outcome for all of humanity is in your heart, right? And you're abiding by the law of one, which is do no harm, and you're helping those around you, then you're on the vanguard of enlightenment. You will be taken care of. And it doesn't matter what baddies out there are trying to shut you down, lock you down, inoculate you, vaccinate you, procrastinate you, or whatever they're trying to do to you. It's, you know, it ain't going to work in the end, right?
You're like Dr. Seuss this morning. I kind of like it.
Yeah,
Rhyming.
I like that. What is it? Green ham.
Oh, Saved by the Bell.
Hello, welcome to the Wellness Show.
That's what it is.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the Wellness Show.
Okay, hi. Yeah, I'm listening to you today, and well, whatever. That's funny. Okay, never mind. I've done. This is Linda Aronson. I've been doing the deep clearing. I'm now in like 2.5 weeks, and I'm doing it for myself and my family. And I seem to be benefiting. I feel like I have more energy. I feel more empowered. But my daughter is like super sick. And I don't know if it's related. She doesn't have the symptoms of the coronavirus, but she said she aches all over her body. She aches all over. She can super nauseous. You know, can barely get out of bed and that kind of thing. So I wondered because I remember a prior caller mentioned something about a healing crisis with
right.
the.
And your daughter has Lyme disease, right?
I'm sorry, what?
Your daughter has Lyme disease?
Well, I don't like to say she does.
Well, let's say that she's been diagnosed, whatever that is.
She has had it, and
yeah.
she's been, she's been able to get on top of it, but
right.
I don't know if this is a reactivation or
right.
what's going on here.
Well, I thank you for phoning in before or leaving a message, and I was going to get to you, but here you are. You're on the Wellness Show, so everybody gets to benefit from the answers. And I know Laura is not going to let me say anything. She got her finger up saying she wants to tell you or talk to you. So I'm afraid of that finger. So I'm gonna let her say what she wants to say. Okay, go for it, Laura.
Okay, so what I got while she was talking was that when you do the deep cleaning protocol for your family, on the first line where you say, "In my holy name, I, Laura Beth Cool," and then you have a list of people, and those list of people, including your daughter, need to be said. Her name needs to be said 3 times: Laura Beth Cool, Laura Beth Cool, Laura Beth Cool, and then the next person, like Tyhson Banighen, Tyhson Banighen, Tyhson Banighen. Are you doing that?
Yeah, I've been doing that. Okay, so for the first week and a half, I didn't say her name 3 times. I said her name once. I said my name 3 times. I think I did say her name 3 times. Excuse me. And then I just recently started adding in other family members by name.
Right.
So yeah. So I don't know if this is. I guess what I'm asking is, has there been any experience where
Yes.
a person does go through a healing crisis?
Yes. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about that. Yesterday, I was fortunate enough that through coincidence or divine providence, however you see the world, that I ended up with 2 deep healing, right? One was that I was told to get onto a call with one of my friends who was clearing the energy around teeth. And I thought, why am I joining her? I was told to join her. She's a good friend. I joined her and I had the most amazing clearing around my teeth, which had to do with past lives. It had to do with actually ET abduction, and it had to do with putting transmitters in my teeth and all sorts of horrific things. That explains a lot of what I was feeling about this time and the trauma I had with dentists, right? And by the way, I'm not in any pain at this time, but wrestling with dentists was difficult. So there was that trauma, and then taking out all the mercury, because the mercury can be on multiple dimensional levels in my body. So that was the first, that put me into a healing crisis, because all of that stuff was still locked in my body. Multi-generational and past lifetime was in my body. So then I see another message, and it's a lady that has a group of about 25 people that's meeting to do clearings together. And it was a 4th clearing, and I thought it was on Sunday, which I think it was, and I missed it because I was doing my mastermind. Anyway, so I said, well, there's a recording, and it said, well, no, we're live right now. So I jumped on. So I went from one healing to another, and in that healing, it was all guided. At the end of the day, I had so much neuromuscular lockdown in my body. It took me forever to clear it, because all that stress that had been locked down for, well, in one case it was lifetimes, right? In this case it was God knows what. Anyway, to make a long story short, I had to process all that, and it was like I was just like a stiffer on the board. I took 4 magnesium pills to calm my body down so all the muscles could relax, right, and let the stress out of my body. So yes, it doesn't surprise me that, even if we don't have a clearing, the fact that the planet's vibrational frequency is coming up is going to force a clearing, right? So even if you're raging,
that's really interesting, because I've always had the sense. You had talked about another caller who you had told the story that she'd been bugged by 30 people that were her ancestors to get on with the business of healing their lineage. And I've always had a sense from the time she was a little girl that she had taken that on. And she has struggled with her health since age 5. And it's just been one thing after another, after another, after another. So I don't know if there's some process.
Yeah, there is. So how old is this? How old is she?
She's 30. She's now 30. She's very discouraged. She's just totally
I want to teach. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you to treat her like she's a 5-year-old for a moment. I want you to sit her in the chair in your imagination, and I want you to have a conversation with her that goes like this. Name her name. I just want you to know, darling, whatever her name is, that your job here, this incarnation, is to heal yourself completely, to be a conduit of God's energy on planet Earth, and that by doing that and only doing that, you will clear up all of your soul agreement with your ancestors and your lineage. Okay,
Right.
that's all you have to do. Okay, the old way that we were trained, or we thought we had to happen because we didn't know any better, and most empaths have this problem to some extent, is we ran it through our bodies.
Right. Well, she's a super empath,
Right.
and I even think that she's processing some of all the fear and stuff with the
And
corona.
the planet and the
she can't help.
galaxy and the intergalaxy and the stars. Stop it already. I mean, I get it. I understand and I appreciate that. But this is a matter of boundaries. She doesn't get it. So help her understand her boundaries by talking to her inner child, right?
Right.
I mean, it's like your pet.
Yeah, well, that's,
it's like your dog or
well,
your. Go ahead. Sorry, keep interrupting.
no,
you.
but I totally got that about her boundaries, and part of what I doused as an installation was that her boundaries are closed, and that means that processing, people's fear, energy, and so on and so forth, and that her boundaries are closed to any pathogen, and I would name every pathogen I could think of and every toxin, and so on and so forth. So, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's much easier to do it the way that I suggested. For example, if I was working with a dog or a cat, I'd have to have a conversation with the cat or dog saying that your job is to be loved and nurtured and be petted and to love the human in your life. Your job is not to process their trauma. Okay, so it's the same with her. I mean, the animal part of her is no different, and that if she can just understand that, and that's you talking to her. It's not trying to block anything, change anything, fix anything. It's just saying, hey, you don't have to do this. And she'll get it. She'll understand it. And believe me, things will change, right?
Her higher self.
I hope.
No, not a hope.
Okay, I know.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, you come back and give us what for. And we'll give you what for, her what for in a loving way, and we'll get this done. Okay?
Is there any way that she could do the deep cleaning protocol herself, the 30-year-old?
Yeah, can she do the deep clearing herself?
Well, she doesn't. She doesn't douse. She's never learned to douse.
She doesn't need to know.
I don't think at this point. I think she's like so debilitated. I'm not sure she would have the wherewithal to do it.
All right. So then put that part into the Court of Atonement. The part where you want to clear anything and all trauma and anything interfering with her ability to understand and take over the control of her own bioenergy field, including learning how to clear herself, and then give it to the angelic level to work on the upper dimensions at the soul level and bring it all the way down. I would, in your position as a mom, there's no reason why you can't put in a complaint. I would put in a complaint. I'd file a complaint at her soul family. I would send a complaint to the soul family department, and I would say, look, back off, right? This person is doing the best they can. When she clears, you clear. And so stop asking her to run all this energy for you. She needs to be healthy, holy, and happy. Now, I know that this is all her learning experience too, but again, if we can get the ancestral lineage and the soul family and star family to back off, right? And wait patiently, that will help her heal.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that may certainly be part of the picture here.
Well, I know they're part of the picture, and overwhelmingly big part of the picture. I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
So I can actually call on her soul family, not necessarily her patriarchal or matriarchal.
I would do it all. I'd put the whole kit and caboodle. I put the star family, soul family, and family of origin. I put the whole thing in a Court of Atonement. And I would talk to Divine Mother or Creator God or Divine or Father, whichever one that you have the biggest or strongest connection to. I'd ask them to bring in whatever beings of light that want to assist, and I'd say, okay, look, we need to have a council, multidimensional council meeting around this, right? This is not fair to this individual. And according to the law, one do no harm, the most benevolent outcome for all concerned. We need we need to come to some understanding about this. So you're really instructing upstairs as a human being that this isn't good enough. And when you do that, the heaven and earth has to pay attention to you.
Right.
Right.
Wow. Okay. So that's completely new. I mean, I've tried everything else under the sun.
It's completely new to me too. You just made me think about this in a new way. So thank you very much for showing up.
Yeah.
I've never thought of this before.
I actually love your show. I can't wait till 11 o'clock in the morning.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's encouraging. And I would like to stay in touch with you over this. I think it's really important because if we can figure this out for her, there's so many other people like her, so many other souls that are dealing with these really, and I'm going to call them, and I'm going to go down the rabbit hole for a moment, these man-made diseases and disorders. Okay.
Right. And this time is my understanding, part of what this time is about is that whatever needs to be cleared, I mean, people that were more awake probably cleaned up or, whatever, over the last number of years. But now it's like, it's coming up and you're going to have to, whatever it is.
You're going to deal with it.
It has to be dealt with. It has to be cleared.
Yes.
There's no choice anymore. It's sort of like, I think you were the one, which I love the analogy, is that Mother Earth is, we're in the birth canal and there's no turning back.
That's right.
We have to give new birth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Once the birthing process starts, that's it.
That's right.
There's no stopping it.
There's no stopping it. And, I'm getting messages from friends, like we're not going to town. We have a younger couple with us that does all the shopping in town because of, the restrictions and all that. And she said, and they said it's really crazy in town. And then when I was watching the news and somebody ran over somebody in Walmart or one of the, places because one of the guards or one of the security people was saying, hey, you have to be in line and everything. So people are going nuts, which is really what you're saying is all the trauma that they had that they were able to bury, down with alcohol or drugs or going to work or gambling, all of that, all of those addictions are really hard to access now. Or if you do access them, like alcohol, why they keep the liquor stores up? Well, because they said that some people have to have liquor to survive. But anyway, so domestic abuse.
Okay, I didn't mean to laugh, but it seems ironic, but
it is ironic.
And everybody's still selling cigarettes and whatever. Yeah.
But the point is that the trauma is going to come up now. There's no way you can stop it. If mom's coming through the birth canal, if she's birthing the new earth, that means every human being is in that birth canal and there's no turning back. So that means if you didn't deal with it before, you get to deal with it now. And so that's why we have to have compassion with each other because people are going a bit nuts. I mean, if you were scared before, you're going to be really, really scared now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I guess I feel lucky that I don't go into fear. I feel like I have enough things that keep me fairly grounded and centered. And I just sort of feel like there's been synchronicities that I'm going, like I'll put in an order. I won't go into the details to speed up your show time, but I'm like, okay, now that's an indication. Because as you yourself have said and repeatedly, which I love, your mantra is that if you stay in your heart, you'll be at the right place at the right time, and you're going to be okay.
Absolutely.
So,
and miracles will happen if you do your little gains book here, which I'm doing. And when I say gains, it's really prosperity. And that's everything coming in and everything going out, and you have gratitude for it. So even my way too expensive credit cards are noted in here because without my expensive credit cards, I couldn't have done all sorts of things that without them. So that's a gain for me. It's an opportunity to show expression. And then in here, I'm showing the flow of what's coming through the front door. Some of it is recognized in dollars and cents. So that, I've got the color in the dollars, but it's just another form of energy. But it's expressing the energy in dollars and me coming to a reconciliation that it's just another transfer of energy. So
Mhm.
putting a real gratitude on the money flow as it comes and goes. So even my bills are going in here, you know, when I have to pay something, there's gratitude that I have enough money to pay that. And you know, the more I do that, it's like I said before, it's like UPS is delivering stuff to my front door I didn't even know I ordered. And it's
Right.
amazing, amazing, amazing what's coming through the front door. There's so much coming through the front door. I'm going to have to do a major spring cleanup to let go of what doesn't serve me out the back door to make room for the stuff coming through the front door, which is good because it's time to clean up the cobwebs, right?
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. I have an impulse to, I haven't gotten to it, but anyway, I was stalled. Yeah, to, you know, get things. And it was metaphoric. I understood it was metaphoric. It's like, I'm a minimalist anyway. I've been a minimalist for decades, but I still had this compulsion to like, okay, every closet, every drawer is going to go through and anything, because it sucks up energy if you're not using it. Anything that you even have stored and out of the way, it's sucking energy. And
Wow.
I say, I need all the energy I can get.
Well, we need you over here because I have a Mormon in the basement. I don't know if you know about Mormons, but you know, their belief is they have to have endless supplies of everything. So the amount of toilet paper that arrived here is stacked on top of the deep freeze. And I'm thinking, what's going on? And he turns to me and says, it's my Mormonism. I can't help myself, right? You open his cupboards and it's food from one end to the other. We have a deep freeze that we can't use because it's full of all his food. So I live with a Mormon, and that, you know, they always are preparing for at least 2 to 3 years worth of whatever, right? It's part of their whole culture. And then I'm a
Well, the
hippie.
toilet paper has become symbolic of fear.
Yeah,
People
so
that
good.
run out and suck
Yeah.
up all the toilet paper. That is like, you know, that's the ultimate expression of fear.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's more valuable than our dollar, than the American dollar now. So there you are.
When you're rich.
They should just print. I actually have seen that in American dollars printed on toilet paper. I love it. But anyway, we digress.
Okay.
What I can say as a hoarder myself, I mean, I'm a hippie, so that was be like one trip to the dump and 2 trips back from the dump, right? So because you know you might need that, and that's really good stuff, and so we don't want to get to go to waste. We want to recycle it. So anyway,
Of course, up purpose, they call upcycle.
That's
or,
right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah. And absolutely, it's not a matter of throwing it out. It's a matter of passing it on.
Yeah. And otherwise, it's blocked energy, and so I got a lot of blocked energy around. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
All right. So thanks.
Keep it in the basement, but. Anyway, well, I will do the Court of Atonement. I really, really like that. And final question, should I include her? I kind of thought maybe.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's why you're calling the Court of Atonement is around her situation.
For her, right.
Really calling the Court of Atonement on her behalf and stating it like, you know, as if, you know, I would think about yourself as literally being there. So if you from people that have gone and renegotiated or tried, let's be honest, but tried to renegotiate their soul contract, they talked about that they arrive at a place where there's like a circle of beings, and they're in the center, and they're very like almost ageless type beings, right, in the circle. And then they petition the soul about their soul contract. They said, one person said to me, and I said, I don't like my soul contract. I don't think it's right. And then there was this great pause in the hall, and they said, all right, fine. Well, we're going to give you the 3 scenarios that were presented to you. So they ran 3 scenarios, and then she decided, yeah, she made the right choice, right?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That doesn't sound good.
So, yeah. So the point is that you were part of this agreement on the soul level, right? So if you want to renegotiate it, good luck. And my Buddhist friend says, look, because you made that soul agreement, you can't get it wrong, but you can sure make it difficult for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And right now,
well, I keep thinking to myself, how did this happen? I signed up for this because it's really been it's been most of my adult life, that dealing with her and all her illnesses and, so on and so forth. And I'm going, geez, I signed up for this. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But I did have a talking to when I lived in Madison, Wisconsin, Laura. I lived in Madison, Wisconsin for 14 years. And there was you may know about it, but there's incredible Native American history there. It was a gathering place to do ceremony and so on and so forth. But anyway, I won't go into the details, but I was asked to clean up something that was pretty major that happened to, a tribe, a group of Native Americans, women, children, horses, the whole 9 yards.
Oh.
And I said, wait a minute. I had nothing to do with this. I'm not guilty here. I wasn't there. I wasn't part of the cavalry. I didn't, blah, blah, blah. And they said, it doesn't matter. The reason why you've been asked to clean this up is because you're awake and you know about it, and they're desperate for somebody to know what happened to them. And so I had Native American shaman and elders from the interior of Canada come down, and we did major ceremony. I mean, it was like, yeah. But the lesson to me was when I said, wait a minute, this shouldn't fall to me. I had nothing to do with this. And they said, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You know.
Aren't you glad that you can do the work though?
You know what happened. You know, whatever, you're aware of it, you're awake, and because of that, you're the one who is going to clean this up.
Yeah, we're all planetary Earth stewards, and we're all on a mission, and we just need to pay attention because we never know when we're going to be asked. So some of the master dowsers I knew would be driving along in the car. Well, actually, they wouldn't be driving; they'd be sitting in the driver's seat, and they'd be clearing. Every graveyard they'd be clearing everything. They would be clearing ley lines, dramatic lines, everything. Like they're clear. They couldn't go on a ride. There was no Sunday afternoon joyful ride. Well, maybe it was joyful for them, but they were always clearing. They couldn't help themselves. They were on a mission. Yeah. So we're all on a mission, and in our own unique way. So thanks for phoning in. That was really wonderful, and keep us up to date with what's happening. And she might be open because I think my daughter's so desperate. Would you be open to talking to her as well? Absolutely.
I mean, not with me, but
yeah,
separately.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you might want to douse it. Laura may be the person too. She may be more comfortable with a female, so check that out.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't have Laura's contact information.
It'll be in the show notes.
No, I don't get show notes.
You don't?
How do I get show notes?
It's wherever you find the show. If you go over to and Google the YouTube. If you go to YouTube and look for the Academy, you will find it there, right?
The wellness show.
Okay, I'll find it in the Academy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look. Okay, I won't take any more of your show time. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for showing up. All right, bye for now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, the line is now open. Just to let you know that you can use this line. It's right up there. 1-866-369-7464. Toll free in North America. Or it's 1-866-Dowsing. 1-866-Dowsing. So we're standing by for your call. And in the meantime, we're going to ask Laura if there's any other questions out there.
There's not, but we have a lot of listeners. People are definitely listening in.
Yeah,
what I liked a lot, Tyson, was your share about you healing, because sometimes I believe that people think that we don't have things that we ourselves are going through during this time either. So I really appreciate you sharing you going through your own healing process as well.
Yeah, and I have Stephen Hersey, who's my Dr. Fitness USA, phoning me every single day saying, you haven't given me your videos or your pictures of what you're doing at home in your weight training. And I've been a bad boy in not getting back to him because I've been so busy that I have every excuse under the sun not to do that. But I know for myself that going to the gym would be half a day out of work. And so that was a day and a half that I wasn't in this office because I had to go to town. I would only be in the gym for 45 minutes. And now all I have to do is walk across like 100 steps to the garage where I set up a little mini gym, and I can't get myself over there because I think I'm too busy doing what I think I need to be doing. But the key factor is that I need to be doing that, or my muscle and my muscular structure, my whole physiological being can't handle the new energies coming through. It's just that simple. So for me, having the type of body that I have, I need to be in the gym. I need to be moving physical weights to ground myself and to move the energy through me. And it's unlocking all of the core trauma that's in my spine. I have scoliosis in the spine. I have vertebrae that I fell off of a cliff. I've got a lot of stuff going on that is actually being corrected, but I have to do it with weights. It doesn't come from walking. It doesn't come from doing Tai Chi. It does, which I love to do, by the way. We did Qigong one morning. We still haven't. So what I'm saying is, in this household, we haven't got into a routine yet. And a routine is critically important. Good water, good food, that's all being taken care of. But the physical part of it, in my world, isn't. They will take the dog for a walk, which is a 4-kilometer walk, which is really great. So that's how they do theirs. So physical exercise is important. Hello, welcome to the Wellness Show. Who are we talking to?
Hi, this is Amy.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. I've been doing the deep clearing protocol for over a week now.
Oh, good.
I have not touched any prescribed medication.
Whoa. That's big.
That's,
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, we all clapping here. But that's amazing. That's amazing.
I will admit, because I do have very severe anxiety, PTSD. I was not sleeping the whole week. I mean, I was basically all night. I finally started going to sleep, but I'm not waking very energetic. I'm very shaking and.
Well, your whole biochemistry in your body is readjusting, so hang in there. It will happen.
Okay, yeah, it just has the anxiety and stuff. If there's other things to do.
Yeah, other things to do, or other things to do. And thank you for walking back up from the edge. You were really close to the edge. Thank you for reaching out, and thank you for listening to us to hopefully help you get back on track, whatever that track is.
Yes, I thank you very much, and that's just very surprised that I'm seeing the change with the deep clearing protocols. I do it every day.
Thank you. I'm getting shivers up my spine. You realize that your story, when you tell it, if you're brave enough to tell it, even in a testimonial, if you're brave enough to do it, will help so many people. I mean, we've just been talking about that whether we are like it or not, whatever trauma that we have that we've locked down in our bodies that we never wanted to deal with, it could be, psychological, it could be, physiological, it could be near death, it could be alien abduction, it could be, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, all of that stuff, or a rotten dentist was the one that I had to deal with, or ET abduction, any of that's created trauma that we haven't dealt with, we haven't processed because we pushed it into our body, locked it down, and refused to deal with, is going to come up now. So you're having the courage to deal with it, and which is amazing. And a lot of people take the choice that you did initially, which is, I'm just going to take drugs because I can dampen this down and don't have to deal with it. I'd rather do that. So a lot of people are wandering around like zombies, right? I have a friend who is on the edge and told me, he said, what's going on here? I was just outside and everybody's rocking around like zombies. He said, I gave them directions about where to go and they can't even follow directions. He's on the edge himself, but he can see the craziness of people around him because he can pick up on their vibrational energy that they're not really at home in their body. There's just too much going on in their lives and they don't know how to deal with the stress and the pain and the suffering as this energy comes out and don't know what to do it. At least you know what to start to do, what you can do to do the turnaround. So thank you for doing the work and getting the results. So Laura, is there any ahas for her or insights that you have, or from that amazing dog on your lap? Maybe he could do that.
I know, my little spirit. I'm just so stinking proud of her, and she's doing the work that needs to be done, and she's risen to the challenge. She's brave and strong, and amazing woman, and I knew she had it in her, and she's proving it to me that she has it in her. And every single day I pray for her, and I just know that she is, I'm just so proud of her, and I can't even express. She's like my happy spot right now, because I'm like, I know she's not through it yet, but I can feel her getting stronger and more focused every day. And even though it's been a struggle, no one says that stopping all of these things is easy, but when you start to feel again, and you start to experience life the way that God has intended for us to experience life, then you know that it was well worth all of the struggle and all of the and not sleeping and all of that, because like me, I sleep through the night like a baby. How about you, Ty?
Yeah, I know my partner's a bit frustrated with me because I can just hit the pillow and I'm gone, and she's on the night shift. It's been really difficult for her. She's not getting the sleep, and we're working on that. She'll be having a massage today to try and get that energy locked out of her body. I have to say that, I have been, I've been on the EMF mat doing the one preparing for sleep, and I'm been wide-eyed awake at 1 p.m. 3 nights in a row. But I'm training myself that no, just because I'm wide awake doesn't mean I need to get up, right? So there is something going on. And by the way, we're up to full moon. We're very close to full moon. So all you people out there, all of your emotional trauma is going to be even heightened even more. And so be aware and be prepared. So yeah, if you're having trouble sleeping, because sometimes can be that you're just processing so many things on the other dimensions, because if you're locked down on this level, the physical, and you can't be handling emotions, and on this, when you're asleep, then they work on you on the other dimensions, right? So sometimes sometimes this dimension is more like a holiday compared to what's happening on the other dimensions. So how I've done that is, okay, you can do whatever you need to do with me, or send me on whatever mission that you want, or heal me or clear me, whatever you want to do in the sleep period. But I want to wake up refreshed and renewed to get myself through the day, because I live on this dimension, right? You got me working on that, Dan. I live on this dimension, and I need to have the vitality to get me through the day without having to go have a nap in the afternoon. So maybe you can say things like that. There's nothing wrong with negotiating your contract. We talked about your contract with your soul family, which is a bit difficult, but your contract on how you're being used to bring about change and transformation on this plane, that's more negotiable. So I will do A if you do B, right? I will be on the night shift if you let me sleep and be refreshed and renewed. So hopefully that can help you too. So don't forget, you're in charge. Who's the boss, Laura?
Me.
Yeah, you're the boss. Right.
Right.
So
and Amy's the boss of Aime, right, Amy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So be the boss.
The boss of me.
Yeah, you be the
How
boss
long
of
does it
you.
take until, the energy comes with the clearing, or?
You will see a change usually in 7-day periods. I mean, it's gradual, but if you journal and do a journal of what's happening, you'll find that it starts to get deeper and deeper clearing, and easier and easier on day 7, 14, 21. And at 21, there's usually enough out of the way that Laura or myself can help do some deeper work with you. We're just getting, we're like if we were looking for gold, we have to take off the overburden, right? To get down to the mother lode. You're taking the overburden off so we can get to the mother lode.
Yeah.
And then we can do the deeper work. And Laura can help you do that deeper work. Okay.
Yeah, because when I wake up, the traumas are in my head every day that I wake up. I'm now sleeping 6 hours, and I'll start waking up with the traumas in my head, like
Right.
each time. So I'll like sleep 15, 20 minutes and wake up with like anxiety and traumas in my mind. So I'm just
Right.
wondering, like, when can I just,
Well,
I've tried so
when
much.
when you wake up with something in your head, it's because Source wants you to deal with that at that moment, right? So when you wake up with the trauma, you might want to delve into it as to like, what are the questions she can ask, Tyson? Like,
Well, I would say, if you wake up with a trauma, take the trauma and clear it. So, name the trauma. This feeling that I have that I'm going to do, that I'm going to do something. Well, even let's be really crude and be blunt about it. This trauma is forcing me or giving me the intention to commit suicide. Okay, so I take this trauma and this intention from wherever it comes, and I'm going to do a clearing on it. So I would be, I, Tyhson Banighen, in my holy name, or my I am presence, hereby clear any trauma from any and all sources, known or unknown, including my family, my matriarchal, patriarchal lineage, soul family, star family, and family origin, that has brought about any trauma or unresolved conflict that makes me feel that I should be committing suicide. And I clear this right here and now throughout my whole system, through all timelines, known or unknown, and through the past, present, and future. And I hereby declare I'm a sovereign human being.
mm-hmm.
And that according to the law of one, which is do no harm, and the most benevolent outcome for all concerned, all beings who do not abide by that no longer have permission to talk to me or interfere with my sleep or to bother me anymore. And I ask that my light team or the archangels or Father God, Father, Mother, or Source Consciousness remove these entities immediately from my system and send them to the light. That's you being the boss. Okay.
And has she been doing the Court of Atonements that I sent to her as well?
Yes.
So being the boss is taking whatever that is in the moment, whatever crazy thought it is, and running it through short clearing. And that's it's in red on the last page, and the words are there. Don't get stuck on the words, but it's you being the boss. When you put your foot down and declare it to be so, I'm getting shivers up my spine, and then it has to be so. It's just you are saying to the universe, this is what I'm prepared to accept in my life, and this is what I'm not prepared to accept in my life, and this is the way it is. And when you do that, everything starts to adjust. It's when we are in fear, we're a victim, and we think that somebody's doing something to us, and therefore they can continue to do something to us, and we can be eaten alive. And I know it's scary as heck, but when you put your foot down and say, no way. So it's like the dragon in front of the treasure, right? In the cave of all the jewels, which are your jewels, all of your divine gifts, all of your all of who your unique gifts that you're going to deliver to the world. And there's a dragon at the den, and he's breathing fire, and he's scaring the Jesus out, and you want to chop him up with a sword, but he's like 10,000 times bigger than you are.
Right.
It's just overwhelming. But if you say, with your sword, rather than pointing it to the sky and saying, you turn it over and you put the hilt up and you say, I desire not to take the sword of strife as my weapon, but rather the word of the Spirit, which is the sword of God, right? Which is the cross. And you put it up in front of the dragon. The dragon bows to you. He bows to you as the one. It's the Christed being that comes in the name of Christ, that comes in the higher consciousness, that you're the boss. The dragon bends on knee. He stops the flames and welcomes you as a long lost friend to your own treasure chest, because you and the dragon are one. So hopefully that story made some sense to you.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to the dragon. The dragon will be your friend.
Yeah. Don't
the
fight.
Dragon has shown, all these boogeymen and dragons have shown up in your life to help you become more spiritually aware, to become more the boss of your life, And the more you become the boss of your life, the more you'll be able to turn around and help the next person. Because there's so many people like you at the crossroads, so many people that need your help. So please keep doing the work. We love you. We're so proud of you.
Love you too.
Yeah. Thank you, Aime.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye for now.
I'm very grateful for both of you. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Amy.
So yeah, if you're at the crossroads and we are trying to make a decision about whether you're going to check out on this planet or not, let me say this, it takes 64,500 years and a 128,000 year cycle to get to this point. You are at a unique time in the history and evolution of consciousness. The fact that you're struggling with the idea of committing suicide means you're so close to breaking through. If you can just take your life in your own hands and stand up and know that you are here for a reason, that this is your time and that this is your test. And you wouldn't have that feeling to commit suicide unless you were ready to step through it and break through. So if you're in crisis, please, that's a number up there. Treat it like a crisis line, a spiritual crisis line. And if I can't deal with it, I have somebody with a wonderful dog named Spirit who can deal with it. So both of us together can help you through these dark nights of the soul that you may be finding yourself in.
Yep. And the caller yesterday, Matt, his son made it through the night. So that's good.
Yeah, that is good. Every night is one night closer. Yeah, the dark night of the soul, We want to take the dark night of the soul and make it into the valley of the shadow of death. My sword and my rod accompany me as I walk through the shadow of death. And we want you to walk through the shadow of death, through the dark night of the soul, and out the other end.
And we're here to help you.
That's right.
That's the best. That's the blessing of it all, is that we have the deep cleaning protocol. We have connections that without you, we can't work. So it's this beautiful cycle. With you, I have a purpose, and it doesn't matter if it's what it is in your life that you're having trauma with. That's why we're here. We're here to help one another, right?
Yeah, we're here to remind you that you have a staff, right?
Yeah. And then rod.
What's the wording in the Bible? It says
Thy staff and thy rod, they comfort me.
Yeah, so your rod is your dowsing tool, and your staff is your staff of power, which is your kundalini, which is when you stand upright, when you use that energy in your spine as a force of good, and you hereby declare it like Moses stamping his staff, right? When you stand up for yourself and say, I am, who's the boss? I'm the boss, right? Then that's that rod that you banging. And when you've got that alignment in your spine, that staff that's symbolized in the one that you carry, when you're on a walk, that's supporting your staff. The staff is a symbol of supporting your spine inside of your body. And so when you have that staff, for wizards and for Gandalf and for Moses, that was the staff of power. They used that staff to bring about, as a magician, to change energy, right, on the planet.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, sure.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies, and anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I'm shivering. This is like my favorite passage.
Yeah, so this is your covenant.
Thank you.
This is your covenant with God or Creator or Source. That when you stand in your truth, right, when you allow that wisdom, when you allow that shaft of light, that staff of light to flow through you from Creator and grounded to the earth, that is your staff. that you use, and that takes you through the valley of the shadow of death, takes you through the dark night of the soul. And when I said at the very beginning, if you're in your heart, if you're centered, you will always be in the right place at the right time, no matter what is happening on the planet. Okay. And even if you do get COVID-19, you will come through it with ease and grace. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be, I'm not saying it would be, easy. I'm just saying that you will have the experience to the extent that you need it. So the only thing that's really in your way is the fear. The fear is going to lower your immune system. It's going to put you in the wrong place at the wrong time, because you can't be guided by God. You can't see the synchronicity of what you need to do if you're not one with Source. So in other words, synchronicity is always there. The ability to be in the right place at the right time, but you have to be attuned to it. And if you're in fear or doubt or shame or guilt, then you're going to miss those coded messages or those aha moments that keep you in safety. Hopefully that makes sense.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Well, we're at the top of the hour, Ty.
Wow.
Another
All right.
beautiful show. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everybody for phoning in. Thank you for helping us get you from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest amount of time. Remember, you're the boss. If you don't like your contract with Source, see if you can renegotiate it. If you want to put it into a court of atonement, so the upper kingdom, the angelic kingdom, and those higher can help you, I highly recommend that you do that. If you don't know about the deep clearing protocol, it's in the show notes, and you can find it there, and we really encourage you to start it. Please join us on Friday as we do part 3 of the basic dowsing and energy healing. We're going to be looking at the last of the deep clearing protocol. Then we're moving on to, now that you know how to keep yourself free and clear, how can you do that for your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones, and for the planet? So until tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
8 a.m.
Pacific
Mountain Time. Yeah.
9 p.m. Mountain, is it?
Oh yeah. Yep. Mountain. And then Central is 10 a.m. and Eastern is 11.
All right. So see you all then. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.